Hey everyone, this is Cameron back with another sales video. This one started from the week of June 14th to June 20th. Had quite a bit of sales on I think 23 in total. One ended up being returned, or it's being returned. They weren't happy with the items. It didn't work on their processing, their software, operating system, I should say. So that's okay though. We'll give them the return. Not really happy with that, but I guess it does happen as part of doing business and offering the 14-day return. So aside from that, total sales were around 800 and some change, $800. That's pretty good for 1 week in the middle of June. I'm only doing this part-time, so that was pretty awesome. Definitely happy with that. Obviously, that's not profit. There's fees and shipping that were factored out of that because I do offer free shipping on most things. But um, this is, a good week for me, and hopefully will continue. I was very blessed and definitely thankful for what happened. So we'll just jump right in. The first one is a puzzle here. It is sealed. Picked it up at Savers for $5 plus tax. May have been a discount of some kind there. I'm not sure when I purchased it. Have to look at the notes, but I sold it for $23 in one day. I had saw that this puzzle sold, this particular one, and puzzles by this artist or designer, and picked it up. It wasn't a ton of money made because it did cost like $7 to ship it, but it's one of those ones that it was a pretty quick and easy, $8 or whatever it was after fees. So not a ton of money, but an easy bit of money into my pocket. So I was happy with that. Here's another thing that sold, some Nerf drums. These are or magazines, whatever you want to call them. They hook onto the Nerf guns, and they have different numbers of rounds that can be placed in them. This one was the CS18. I had two of these. Got them previously from a garage sale pickup. I think probably had a couple of bucks invested. Ended up selling them for 25 with free shipping. They shipped in a padded flat rate. These little drums and different things for Nerf guns do really well. Sometimes you can make more money off the add-ons like this or accessories than you can on the gun themselves. So look out for these drums. The bigger ones do even better. You get the really big ones. I think you can get 15 or 20 bucks a piece for those, which is pretty good. And then you can also sell the scopes and other magazines and clips too if you pick them up. So be on the lookout for those. Well, here's a Colorado State pullover. Not the greatest college to sell gear from. It's not as sought after as like a UCLA or USC one. Had a couple of dollars invested though. This sold for 18 bucks with free shipping. Didn't make a ton. I think it shipped in a $5 flat rate envelope. So when it's all said and done, maybe $7, $6 in profit. I was happy to get rid of it. It's one of those ones that, looking back, I may have not bought it because I've held it for a long time just to sell it at this price. But I was happy to move it, get my initial investment back, and still make a few dollars on top of that. Here's an Xbox 360 power supply. These things sell a little bit less than what they used to. You should be able to get 22, 23 bucks for them. It's down to about 15 to 17 depending on which one it is. There are different ones. So if you Google Xbox 360 power supplies, you can find some information on that. But as long as they work, they do sell. I got 16 bucks, shipped it in a padded flat rate, which was great. And I ended up, making a few dollars, $7 after fees or whatever it was. This came in a lot. I had bought a 360 with a power supply and a hard drive. The 360 was broken. I think I paid 5 for everything. So I can sell the hard drive probably for 15. I have this for 16, and then I can probably still get 20 for the broken system. So I can still get some money off a broken system, and even if you couldn't get any money off the system, if you had a hard drive and a power supply at $5, you could still make a little bit of money. So be on the lookout for broken 360s. Sometimes people will literally give them away. I've had them do that to me as well because it's broken. They think it's worthless, and there's still money in the power cord and hard drive. So. Next is a great game to look out for. Definitely burn this one in your brain. Star Wars Battlefront. The series itself, there's Star Wars Battlefront and then Star Wars Battlefront 2. The second one is the more desirable one. On Xbox, I think it goes for 35 plus. You can also sell on the PlayStation 2. They're not as great on the PlayStation 2. I think for both you could probably get 35 bucks on the PS2. But this one got 20 bucks for. My previous haul video, you may have seen I bought a bunch of video games for $10. It was a crazy good deal. This one I sold for 20 out of that lot on its own. Here's another video game lot that I sold, Halo 3, Halo 4. Picked these up for $1.50 each. Bought a lot of 360 games, and that's what it averaged out to. Ended up selling these for 20 with free shipping, shipped first class. Individually, they're not worth a ton, but when you can find games of the same series and knot them together, you can squeeze a little more money out of someone because they're looking to get the whole set. Granted, this wasn't the whole set of Halos, but it was a couple more than just selling them individually. It works for games like Call of Duty and anything really where you have a whole set. Grand Theft Auto. If you can get a few games in the series together, you can probably make a little bit more money. Another PlayStation or video game. This one's a PlayStation 1. It's called Point Blank. It's a bit uncommon actually. You don't see it around that much. It was in a lot I bought for $40. Sold this one in particularly for $14 with free shipping. Had no case, but was still in good shape. So happy to make $14 off that. Another item here, Microsoft Windows Vista Anytime Upgrade. This is a software. Sold it for $12. I probably had nothing invested in this. I bought some other software and this was kind of thrown in a lot. Was happy to get anything for it. $12. It shipped first class for like $2.04. So probably made $5 or $6, and that was an easy $5 or $6. I know it's not a lot of money to make, and some people shy away from sales that don't generate enough profit. But honestly, if you're doing this part-time or even full-time, and you can, for a couple minutes of your time, squeeze $5 or $6 out of something, and it doesn't cost you much in shipping or anything like that, and there's not a great risk on it for return or anything, it's probably worth it to pick it up, in my opinion. I mean, if it takes me 5 minutes or 4 minutes to make $5, that's a pretty good rate of return for my time. Here's a textbook here, sold it for $24.99. I bought a whole bunch of textbooks with my girlfriend at one sale a few weeks ago. Paid $5 for the whole lot. It was all nursing stuff and all relatively new. Most of it was the most recent editions of the books, or at the very maybe one back beyond the most recent one. This one sold for $25. This one there was an 8th edition, so someone bought this edition, which is one behind the new one. It was $25, so I've already made over $200 on all those textbooks that I paid $5 on. So that was a really good deal. Happy to sell another one and ship it media mail, so nothing wrong with that. Another game here, Test Drive EVA Destruction. This is another one to look out for. Most Test Drive games are worth not picking up at all unless they're free. This one ended up selling for $30. I know this one, I've seen it before, and I didn't realize at first it was worth something. I was about to throw it in a lot of games that weren't worth anything. Happened to look it up, and it turned out it was worth something. And this one was actually sitting at a thrift store I go to every once in a while, but hadn't been in a couple of weeks. Saw this game sitting there, and the lady had said it had been here for about a month or so. So maybe I was there, not even there longer. I missed it the first time, but obviously it's something that most people looked over. Most people are looking for your Marios and your Zeldas and maybe Final Fantasies and stuff like that. They think those are the games to look for, and most of the time they do have value. But sometimes the more obscure games people aren't aware of what they're worth, and it's worth your time to look them up or try to build a knowledge base about some of these harder to find games, just in case you do come across them, you can pick them up and make some money. So paid $2, sold it for $30. Really good turnaround for a $2 investment, and happy that everyone else at the thrift store missed this one. Here's some homeschool books and another haul video. I had bought a bunch of homeschool books for $10. Sold this one for $30 on a best offer. It was a great deal. I only paid $10 for everything, and I got quite a few books. I've even sold another set since then of this similar Saxon math series, so I think I sold that one for $27 or $28. So I'm already way over my $10 investment with still books to spare. Homeschool stuff sells. Realistically, it needs to be relatively new. Older stuff can be a little outdated depending on what the material is, so you might be better off finding newer stuff. You also want stuff that's unused. You don't want a bunch of filled up workbooks. So look it up while you're there, but it's always worth looking at, and usually you can get it for cheap. $30, shipped media mail. That was pretty easy. iPhone 5 box. Got all these iPhone stuff in Apple product boxes, only no systems or anything. They were free from a garage sale. She was just going to throw them away. She actually kind of came after me and said, "Hey, would you want these?" And I don't know why, because I was about ready to leave, but I'm glad she did, because I've already sold 2 so far. Sold an iPad box for $13. and an iPhone 5 one for 12, and the iPad one even went to Canada, and they paid for shipping, so I made a little bit more money on that. On this one, it probably only makes $5 or $6 once I get fees out of the way and shipping, but it was free, so I paid nothing, and it took a couple minutes of my time, and again, I made $5 or $6. So that's pretty cool. Another item here, Microsoft Works. This one came with the Microsoft Windows Vista upgrade I showed you previously. Got 24 bucks for this one. This one I factored into the equation when I was picking up that lot of stuff. Probably had $3 or $4 in this, and ended up getting 24 for it on free shipping. Got a positive feedback as well, so they did get the item and they were happy with it. Another game here, Harvest Moon, but this one does not have the game. It is the case and manual only. Got 10 bucks for it. Really, probably only going to make $4 or whatever when it's all done, but this is something that was in a lot of games I had bought. Thought the game was in here, but it turned out that it wasn't. And I'm happy to get something for it and squeeze a little bit of money out of that lot that I had bought. So if you have video games that don't have any games in them, or maybe don't have a manual or whatever, they're still worth selling. You can make money off the cases, the manuals, or just the disc itself. So it doesn't have to be complete to make money. People are always looking to complete their set. So depending on what game it is, obviously if it's a game that's worth nothing, then likely the manual and case are worth nothing. But if it is a game that has value itself, and you just have a case or a manual, or you find one out in the wild out there, definitely pick it up, and you can make some money off it. Here's I sold two of these, two different ones. They were in a previous haul video. These Wii Crafts. They're little ready to paint kits. I think they're made of plaster or something. Bought two of them or three of them. I paid $32, I think, for everything. Sold two, one for $70 and then the other one for $50. They were a little expensive to ship, $25 for both of them, but that was pretty good. Made some money. Be on the lookout for this Wii Craft stuff. It's sold even not in Christmas time. Just make sure when you sell it that mine was sealed and looked like it was in good shape, but you probably want to just make sure there's no damage or anything like that anytime you sell something like this. Here's a Ciroc bar spill mat. I bought a bunch of these, paid about $1 a piece when it was all said and done. I think I got 8 or 10 of them. I sold this one for $13 on the best offer. Didn't make a ton on it. Cost $5 to ship it. So probably only made $4 or $5, but it was one of those ones where I had bought a huge lot and already sold 2 pieces for $25 each. Those ones were the big money makers. They were Jack and Coke bar mats. The rest is kind of the leftover stuff that's not as desirable. So yeah, I didn't make a ton, but $4 or $5 in a padded flat rate envelope is pretty easy to do. Didn't take long to list it, and I'll take the money any day. Sold a Star Wars blaster gun. I'm a pretty big proponent of selling Star Wars guns, the blaster guns, also selling Nerf guns and laser tag stuff. I've made a lot of money on different kinds of guns of those categories, and they're almost always super cheap at garage sales. People are selling their kids' toys. They're in a box, and they're usually $1 or $2 or something like that for the pieces. Sometimes Nerf stuff is a little more expensive, but for the most part, the stuff is cheap, and people will pay big money for it. I got 25 bucks for this on best offer. It does come apart in 2 pieces here. We get it to load. There we go. So that's pretty cool. And if you it has more pieces to make it extend more in the front to be even longer. I think something that can come out the side. So if you get the big gun with all the pieces, you can get 50 plus. And these are great for around Halloween time too. If you put Halloween in the title or costume, people will buy these just for they're going out to be stormtroopers or whatever the case might be. So 25 bucks. It ships in a padded flat rate. I paid $2 at a thrift store. And I just recently bought another one of these guns without the shoulder piece, so that should get me 15 or 20 as well. Getting near the end here, got a UCLA jersey. This one was supposedly game used. That's what their owner told me when he sold it to me. Only sold it to me for $5, so I was a little unsure. It did look like a kind of a collegiate jersey that would have been used by the player. It's cut differently than the ones you buy in the store. I listed it at game used. I put question mark, and I put in this description all different things, saying I'm not sure if it's game used. It's supposed to be. I have no proof. Please move forward with caution or what have you. Ended up taking a best offer 65 on this, which was great. The person got it, gave me positive feedback. They were happy with it. $65 for a $5 investment for me, that's good all day. So that was awesome. One of the better sales of the week for sure. Another video game here, which has been quite a few of them this week. Mario Kart on the Wii, sold it for 18. Probably paid 4. These video games, they do so well for me, and they're almost, most people, especially if you're in the area with kids, people have video games. Even adults, I mean, people, young adults in their 20s, they've played them and they may still have their old stuff. I always ask about video games at garage sales. Same with this one, I asked about it and they ended up having this game and I picked it up. You should be looking for video games if you aren't already, because sometimes they can bring big money and sometimes you can get them for really cheap. But this one, paid 4, sold it for 18, ships first class. When it's all said and done, maybe $8 to $10 in profit, which is pretty easy. Lastly, though, the home run of the week. This was really cool. Was out with my girlfriend garage selling. We picked this up for $10. It's a Disney Store Hercules snow globe. From my research, it looks like Hercules ones are a little bit more desirable, or at least a little bit more rare. Not as many people may have bought them initially. I paid 10. I thought for sure this lady was going to want 50 or 60 for it by the look on her face, but she came out with 10. I couldn't get my money out faster. Ended up selling it for a best offer at 185. I thought that was pretty fair. I think someone got 200 for theirs, and maybe someone got 220, but some people only got like 150, and I think around 100. So I was happy with that. I don't want to get too greedy when I've only spent $10 anyway, so figured I'd take it, get the money, and move forward. I shipped it to the person. They have it. I've had it for quite a few days now, but haven't left feedback, but haven't said anything negative either. So happy that they, hopefully they're happy, and hopefully that is good to go. And that's $185 for a $10 investment. So pretty awesome. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully there were no issues or anything with the quality. I do appreciate you guys watching. If you could please like, comment, and subscribe. I do have another video coming up pretty soon with the Saturday's haul, so I'll go ahead and get that uploaded too, so you guys can take a look at what I found. Didn't go out for too long, but I ended up finding some pretty good stuff. Thank you guys. Take care.